Shalom. After 50 programs, it's time to take a look back at some of the interesting, touching, inspiring, and colorful stories that we've brought you on Israeli Salad. So let's get started. Welcome to the best of Israeli Salad. On Salad 32, we visited Ma'on Nechim. Ma'on Nechim is a non-profit residential home situated on the outskirts of the coastal city of Netanya. It caters to severely disabled young adults. A unique art group in this institute proves that with self-determination, anyone can create art. In order to truly appreciate these paintings, you have to know the story that lies behind these works of art. As with all other paintings, the paintbrush is the tool used to create the art, but these paintings use a completely different technique. Ten years ago, Sandra Katalov, an artist originally from England, started working at Ma'on Nechim, the home for the disabled in Netanya. She started with one art student and gradually expanded her teaching to a larger group of artists with different disabilities.
I think the biggest challenge in this class is trying to work out how, with their disability, each student can paint.
The art group can be divided into three groupings: hand painters, mouth painters, and foot painters. But that division doesn't say anything about the style and approach of each and every artist.
If they're using their foot, what type of painting suits their foot? What type of painting they like? Each one has a different idea of painting.
We have Ronit, a mouth painter, fine art. You know, beautiful, delicate flowers, small brushes, beautiful work.
I'm working with Chaya, who can only paint with her foot. At the moment, we're putting a background onto a painting.
You then go to Marielle, who is amazing. He works with a big brush, a small brush, he draws, he's magnificent, absolutely magnificent. Then you have Jemana over here, who is the most wonderful painter, limited hand movement, but uses a talent that is, you have to see her paintings to believe them.
Considering the different types of disabilities Sandra and her team have to deal with, they must be creative and innovative on behalf of the artists.
For instance, Marielle, we had to work out how he could actually get to the top of a canvas when the canvas is big. So he turns the canvas upside down. I've tried painting upside down, it's impossible, but he can do it.
She looks in the mirror because she can't actually look at her painting, so we get a reflection in the mirror for her, and then she can see what she's doing. The world of art's a wonderful form of expression for these people because most of them can't even speak clearly, and they are able to express their feelings, their emotions, and a great deal of skill, most of them, through their limited use of motor skills.
I'm painting. I enjoy painting every Wednesday. I love to come Wednesday to be all my friends here, all the volunteer teacher, good teacher.
And it's great to do something maybe you think I can do it. And it's wonderful to see when it's finished.
This group, every week I come here, they help us and make us happy. They let us feel good. They put a lot of effort into making us happy and to let us create whatever we're able to.
I try my best. Not always I can success, but I try my best.
Ronnie, this is so beautiful. It's a typical Ronnie painting. Lovely colors and very beautiful.
I think it affects their life in many ways. They have a lot of fun. Every week they wait for the next Wednesday when they come here. We laugh a lot, and I think that's the success of this class, is that we laugh a lot.
They're wonderful, special people, all of them.
People think the paintings are absolutely amazing. I agree with them.
Now let's go back and visit Yad LaShiryon, the Armored Corps Museum and Memorial Center, which is located near Latrun, not far from Jerusalem. The Yad LaShiryon site was created in the early 80s through the initiative of veteran commanders of the Armored Corps. The Armored Corps Association was established with the goal of creating a center to commemorate the heroes of the Armored Corps. The Corps served as the IDF's main strike force and helped determine the outcome of Israeli wars. These tank units have been involved in some of the most difficult battles in Israel's history. One of the pivotal battles took place here at Latrun. The battle was critical in the attempt to free Jerusalem from the Jordanian threat. One of the tanks which took part in this battle is now displayed on the top of a pedestal as the main monument of Yad LaShiryon. At Yad LaShiryon, the Armored Corps Association displays many different kinds of armored vehicles, from the small French tank which was used by the Israeli soldiers during the War of Independence in 1948, to the armored fighting vehicles which are still being used today to protect the State of Israel. Now this here is the Merkava tank, which is the flagship of the Israeli tank industry. The technical schematics of the Merkava tank and the components of the tank that assure its safety are so confidential that even the soldiers using this tank don't know what it's made of. There is already a fourth improved model of the Merkava tank. This model is not available for the display because all the units are currently in use. Here we can see a very interesting display. What they did here actually is take a tank and cut it into two so we can see the interior of the tank. Okay, now here we are at the bad guys section of the Latrun Museum. There is a big collection here of enemy tanks. Now here we are in a Lebanese tank. As you see, the color of this tank is blue. The reason for this is because the Lebanese believed, there was a superstition believing that blue brings good luck. Now, I don't know how this would work in terms of camouflage, like when the tank would be driving through a desert or through a forest, but this is what the Lebanese believed in. Many groups of people visit the Latrun Yad LaShiryon site. School children who come as part of their educational program to learn the heritage of the Armored Corps, families, and all other types of groups as well.
I came here to do research for a movie that is planned to be filmed here in Israel. The movie will be about the armored convoys that tried to reach Jerusalem when the city was under siege. We saw a movie about the wars that showed the special maneuvers of the tanks. We saw all different vehicles, armored personnel carriers, tanks, and other special armored fighting vehicles. We learned that the Merkava tank helped Israel during the Six-Day War. This is a beautiful place, and I hope they continue to expand and improve it.
In addition to the educational experience, the children also have a lot of fun climbing on the tanks and experiencing these powerful vehicles from close. Parents and teachers look at the children playing and hope that by the time these children reach the age of 18, the Yad LaShiryon site will be the only place they will encounter these tanks.
Please send your comments, ideas, and questions to the Israeli Salad email, yoni@israelnn.com, or leave a message on the Israeli Salad voicemail at international dialing code 972-3918-5554. That's 972-3918-5554.
Kosher cuisine is one of the fastest growing culinary markets in the world, and kosher quality standards are constantly rising. So who will train the kosher chefs? On Israeli Salad 30, we met Yochanan Lambiasi's Kosher Culinary Academy. I met Chef Yochanan Lambiasi in the kitchen of the Jerusalem Holy Land Hotel in the middle of an interactive cooking lesson.
Well, we're having a lovely lesson in how to make stocks and how to make sauces. As you can see, everybody's running around trying to find their places. We've got Shlomo over there, who's going to be teaching the guys how to make mayonnaise. We've got over here, Gary's going to be teaching guys how to do pastry dishes, and they're going to be learning a whole array of exciting things today.
For Yochanan, this academy is a dream come true.
And this is basically my dream, to run the world's first kosher culinary cooking school under complete halachic auspices. I was born in London, and I went to hotel school in London called Westminster.
Kosher?
Far from it. Far from it.
In the course, which is all in English, students from Israel and abroad learn a variety of topics.
Basic preparation of your food that you're going to make, to stocks, to making big, humongous banquets and buffets and meals and whatever there is to make.
Although in most cases the chefs don't serve the food, Lambiasi students learn how to be professional waiters as well.
If you're a chef only knowing how to cook and you're not getting the food presented to the people that are going to be eating it in a proper fashion, then it won't taste as good. One of the main things that we're learning is how to teach the rest of your staff how to do the things correctly, so that not only will the food be good, but also the service will be good.
To complete the education of kosher chefs, the students learn how to cook according to the Jewish laws of kosher food, kashrut.
In the morning there is a 2-hour lecture on Torah studies. They basically are learning the whole ideas of kashrus, learning about all the problems that happen in the kitchen. Obviously, you can see that it's a hustle and bustle over here. Things do happen the whole time. Problems do happen the whole time.
The course teaches the participants to be not only professional chefs, but also professional kosher supervisors, mashgichim.
I'm here to become a professional chef, not only physically, also spiritually.
You have inside yourself, and I have inside myself, a very special thing, and that's called a Jewish soul. You have to be able to give good kosher food to keep a good kosher soul. You understand what I mean? It's all in the neshama, and if the neshama's working well, then your whole life can reach a higher level.
The students of the Kosher Culinary Academy have at least one thing in common.
They love food. They love to eat. I mean, look at these swelling bellies over here. Look at these robust cheeks. Everybody loves food.
I love cooking. It's one of my passions, and it's just I'd love to be a chef. Do that as a living, something I enjoy.
I've been interested in cooking since I'm about 5, and this is the first time I've heard of a Glatt Kosher school, so that's why I came.
As opposed to going to Johnson & Wales and learning with pork and everything, I get all the good qualities here.
The holidays in Israel, for me, I didn't come unless I had to. I came here and I wasn't sure whether I'd enjoy it, but so far it's been great. There's much more variety of kosher food here than there is in England.
Yochanan and his students know that there will always be plenty of business because there's a lot of food involved in many Jewish rituals and ceremonies.
Food is something that is part of the Jewish people. It brings people together.
If you have good, amazing kosher food, it will just elevate your soul, definitely.
When looking for mentors, Lambiasi looks up to biblical characters like the matriarch Sarah and the patriarch Yaakov, and he gets inspiration.
We see in the Torah that Sarah made matzahs. She made lamb tongue with mustard sauce. Then we see that we have Yaakov made for Esav lentil stew. I mean, these guys were budding gourmets. I mean, come on. So the whole thing is that we are just enlivened and enriched through our Jewish lives with food.
Chef Yochanan Lambiasi wants to see his academy grow.
We are also looking to build the world's first kosher Mahadrin guild, as it were. We're going to have courses for women. We're going to have courses for men. We're going to have courses for kids. We're going to do health food. We're going to do fusion cookery. We're going to be doing everything that's up to date now in the world.
I'll take this opportunity to give you some insider information. Israel National TV is working on a kosher cooking show hosted by Chef Lambiasi. That's all I could tell you for now, so look forward to seeing the new cooking show that will be called Cooking with Milk and Honey.
You are watching Israeli Salad on Israel National TV.
In the ancient Jewish scriptures, you can't find any reference to using cars on Shabbat or an answer to when to observe Shabbat when you're on the moon. Well, on Israeli Salad 22, we learned that you can find answers if you delve into the sources. We visited the Institute for Science and Halacha in Jerusalem. Nearly 40 years ago, Rabbi Levi Yitzchak Halperin and a group of yeshiva rabbis and students founded the Institute for Science and Halacha. The group's goal was to develop a sound halachic base for dealing with all matters connected with science and modern technology. The Institute brings together electrical engineers, mechanical engineers, and programmers on one side, and rabbis and yeshiva students on the other side. The Institute deals with the halachic implications to the quick development of science and technology in the past centuries.
If you
look at the way of life from the time of the Mishnah and before, you can see that even when the conditions changed, the Torah continued to be relevant to the way of life for each generation. Today the changes are so quick that a change that would once have taken many years could take place in only a few hours. So our role is to make it possible to spread the Torah and let its light radiate in the reality of modern life.
Technology is not a threat to Judaism. Science is also not a threat to Judaism. The sages in the Talmud, when trying to describe concepts or analyze concepts, they always used case studies. Our job here is to take those case studies and see what would they look like today.
The Institute for Science and Halacha is divided into two main parts. The Lehava Institute, the educational division, deals with the understanding of how Jewish life should coexist with the advancement of technology. Rabbi Shmuel Strauss and the rest of his institute visit educational and religious institutes and teach people how to relate to any new device and invention they may encounter.
Take a look at how it's made, and don't be afraid of what the answer is going to be, but try and analyze what it's made of and what concepts might apply. And then you can discuss it, and you find that the halachic question becomes part of the learning process rather than do, don't, and therefore I'm afraid to ask.
The educational division also helps give answers to Jewish people with questions from all over the world.
We have a responsa service where anybody can send questions that they have and get a fax or an email back on various halachic issues.
The other big part of the Institute consists of the research and development laboratories. The Institute has provided solutions accepted by many streams of Jewish society for a variety of complex halachic challenges. In the Institute's museum, Rabbi Strauss showed me a few examples of these solutions.
In the discussion about whether or not one can use an electric wheelchair on Shabbat, we're proposing an alternate solution of using a mechanical wheelchair powered by air. We're experimenting with developing a keyboard that would work indirectly, so that somebody could receive patients to a hospital on Shabbat and be able to input his information and follow up the medical procedures accurately through the computer. How would one be able to use a computer on Shabbat? By creating a situation where grama, or indirect action, typing of the information into the computer. There are a number of companies that want a marketing edge of being able to provide refrigerators that have certification for use on Shabbat. Part of the problem would be when one opens a fridge, then just opening it will turn the fan on or off. There's also heating elements in the wall of the fridge which are considered eish, are considered lighting a fire on Shabbat. So we would take a fridge and we would set up a whole new system to check for heat, cold, and try to make sure that we could work it in accordance with whatever specifications were needed for use on Shabbat.
On a visit of Israeli engineers and scientists to the Institute, the visitors told Rabbi Halperin how they see this institute.
They said you're like the sages from ancient times who took the day-to-day life, delved into the Torah, and came out with the answers relevant to the reality of life.
It seems like systems which are focused on different populations have an awareness of the religious population needing some kind of certification.
One of the last publications put out by the Institute relates to the Jewish halacha in space. The book was put out in memory of Colonel Ilan Ramon, the first Israeli astronaut who was killed in the Columbia disaster.
Ilan Ramon contacted me through a Chabad rabbi from Los Angeles, and I gave him answers on how he should act as a Jew while in space. After he died, I said his actions proved to be a sanctification of God's name. As a result of that encounter, I wrote this book in his memory.
Rabbi Halperin and his Institute hope to reach as many Jews as possible to spread their message. The message is of a living Torah that is relevant for each generation.
The Gemara says about the Torah, delve and delve into it because it contains everything. The Torah has everything that a person needs in each and every generation. But you can't just sit back and think you'll see it. When you have a question, you must delve into the Torah, and you'll find the answers.
Okay, that's all for this week's program. We'll be back next week with a special Israeli salad commemorating the destruction of the Holy Temple. So be sure to join us then. Until next time, shalom from all of us here at Israel National TV.
Yeah.